What's up? Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the future Star Wars and some new info that's come in on the internet about Rey coming back and why I think that Anakin Skywalker needs to be involved in this. Otherwise, nothing really changes. So this info is coming from Cameron Pasha, a screenwriter that's done a lot of shows and movies in Hollywood, and he discusses media and Hollywood and currently Disney and Lucasfilm stuff, and his sources are saying that Jon Favreau is considering bringing Rey back into the Ahsoka show to have her own Thanos moment and change the Star Wars timeline. So most likely they're probably going to want to use the world between worlds, which was introduced in Star Wars Rebels, where and if many of you seen that episode, many of you seen Star Wars Rebels, you know what world between worlds is. If you haven't, it's this netherworld that is set between time and space in the Star Wars galaxy. Ezra discovered it, and it basically he was able to save Ahsoka from dying at the hands of Darth Vader, where she supposedly really died at the end of season 2. And so before Darth Vader could give the killing blow to Ahsoka, Ezra was able to pull her out from that moment in time from a portal into the world between worlds. And I'm sure in that moment it caused a lot of rift in the timeline, and it changed, and it probably created another timeline where Ahsoka lives. So in the same fashion, they're probably going to do the same thing here, where Ahsoka, with the help of Rey, and this is where I think Anakin Skywalker is really important, they're going to probably stop Palpatine's spirit from moving on to another body, moving forward, and creating the sequels. And so they're saying that Rey is going to be involved in this. She's going to help out, and in that moment, she's going to have to help in choosing the lesser of two evils. One in where, you know, Darth Sidious's spirit survives and creates the sequel trilogy, and millions of people, billions of people die. And in the other one, where also a lot of people die, but less than this version, where possibly Thrawn is the villain, there's no more Palpatine, and it's just another war happens. So which is the one that's going to be the lesser of two evils? And that's probably where Rey's going to have to make her choice and sacrifice even her own self, because she's the granddaughter of Palpatine, which was, you know, that was one of the worst ideas ever, to have a main character, you know, survive the Skywalkers and that main character be a Palpatine. That was just horrible. It was not the rise of Skywalker, it was the rise of Palpatine. So that's what they want to consider her for, according to these sources from Cameron Pasha's Patreon. And I think that it's possible. You know, at this point, the franchise needs saving. It needs to go back to its heyday. And if it's going to take this, if it's going to take Rey coming back and helping to restore the timeline, then I am for it. But there is a problem here that in none of this info, we hear Anakin Skywalker being involved, or even Luke Skywalker, which I think Luke should be involved. Anakin Skywalker is a chosen one. He is the one that was meant to bring balance to the Force. And basically what that means, he's the one, when there was so much evil surrounding Palpatine while he was alive, and even Darth Vader in Anakin was able to bring balance by destroying Darth Vader in him and also helping destroy Palpatine, and thus bringing balance to the galaxy, because there was just too much darkness. So he was able to bring balance. And so if that darkness is going to survive into the future, into the sequels, then Anakin needs to be involved to help bring that balance. It's okay if he uses Rey and Ahsoka, but he has to be involved. I can understand if he himself cannot do it by himself. He's a Force ghost now, but it also would be a great moment for Ahsoka and Anakin to have a great moment where they meet again and she sees his Force ghost, and we have that connection again with them, and he is grateful for her help and she needs his help. And it also even could be a good moment with Rey and Anakin. You have to bring in Anakin, and I also believe that you have to, as a writer, I'm a writer, you have to bring in, I would bring also Luke Skywalker, bring in Luke Skywalker, have Luke Skywalker, Anakin's Force ghost, Ahsoka, Rey, but it has to be well executed as well. Bring in Anakin, bring in Luke Skywalker, write it really well, give Rey a moment to shine, give her some good writing that was not given to her in the sequels, and also just make Ahsoka, write her well as well. Don't make her arrogant, don't make her OP, overpowered, don't make her be the one that fixes everything, that takes over Anakin's sacrifice or anything like that. Don't do that. Just make it fair for everybody where their role in this story is, as far as their importance and the symbolism in it, because you know that's who Anakin is. He's the chosen one. He has to be involved in such a change and a shift in this Star Wars story that Disney right now has, which is basically just digging its own grave, and it's their version of Star Wars is basically already lying down in that grave waiting to be covered by all that dirt. And George Lucas' Star Wars, in my opinion, is still alive and well. You can pop in the movies, you can play any of the games, read any of the novels pre-Disney, and there's a lot of life in that. There's a lot of joy in that. There's hardly any joy in Disney Star Wars. So if they really want to bring some joy back to this franchise, if they can execute this well, include Anakin and include Luke Skywalker, and do not make Rey or Ahsoka OP, and make it fair for everybody, then this could work, and I would be all for it. But for right now, if I see them moving more towards the sequels and more stuff in the sequels in The Mandalorian, and they don't care about any retcons or anything like that, I'm gonna have to check out for sure, and I'm just gonna have to celebrate George Lucas Star Wars going on further into the future, which there's nothing wrong with that, because there's so much stuff there. Such a rich universe with those 6 movies, the expanded universe, the games, and everything like that. So this is just my thoughts on this. There's a lot of information to pack in out of this. I will continue bringing you any added info coming in from these sources, and anything else that I feel that is some good info, some good stuff to talk about in terms of Star Wars future, and hopefully a positive future that is coming for the saga. In the meantime, I'll see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you.